couple of good days of R&R after a long trip down from Inskip Bay at Bongaree. Lovely little spot there, but I'm up early this morning just getting the tide to give me a hand across Moreton Bay. I'm just heading out. I've got to head towards Scarborough in a minute, and we'll head out around the Spitfire banks and across to Peel Island, so that'll be my destination for tonight. I think it's about 25 nautical miles, so that'll take us 5, 6, probably 4 or 5 hours anyway. I don't know, I might get a bit of sail out and make it a bit quicker, but no breeze at the moment. Conditions are pretty good, so I think it'll be good for Peel, and I'll spend a night there and then probably up to Jacob's Well the next day. I'm on a bit of a timeline now because I have booked an airline ticket for Monday. So next Monday I'm flying to Melbourne to see the kidlets, which will be great. Anyway, so about our last couple of little trips for a little bit of time until we start heading south to Tasmania, probably in about a month, I'd say. Bit to do here.
Well, we don't wear skimpy bikinis. Hell, it frightens me when I take my shirt off. There's definitely no one pregnant here. This is motor sailing for old dudes. We do live on a boat, and we do cruise extensively along the Australian coast. Join us and visit some great destinations. Learn how to look after a boat and live off grid. It might even get you enthused to do the same thing. Hey, stay out there till you can't.
The morning ritual, a pot of rooibos tea from South Africa. I like it. Okay, nice day out here for heading across Moreton Bay. I'm just looking over towards the ports of Brisbane, and I can see a ship that's just left the port of Brisbane and he's heading out the shipping channel. Now we're going to cross the shipping channel in probably about half an hour's time, and I'm trying to work out if he's on a collision course. He's off to my starboard, so I'm a giveaway vessel. I'll have to give way to him. So what I can do, there's a couple of ways I'll know whether it's going to be a danger coming up, and if I'm going to make an alteration to course, I need to make it early and make it an obvious alteration. While you do that, if you make it early, it takes all the pressure off getting into a close counter situation, and if you make it a large alteration to course, if I'm going to alter my course to starboard to go around his stern, I'll make that alteration of course not in little increments but in one big hit, and he'll know that I have altered course and I plan to give way to him, so he doesn't have to worry about what action he's going to take. And to be honest, these big ships can't take any action anyway. They're constrained by their draft. They've got to stay in the shipping channel. They're not very manoeuvrable, and yeah, much better to keep out of the way. Even if they are a giveaway vessel, don't push your luck trying to make them give way, because they won't, so be very careful of them. Now the other way I can work out whether we're on a course that's going to bring us together, you can see my hope out through that window there, and from where I'm standing he's about in the middle of the window. Now if in 5 minutes time I look at him and he's right over in this corner of the window, it means that he's probably going to go across in front of us and I wouldn't have to alter course. If he stays right in that spot, it means that our angle off each other is not changing and we'll be on a collision course. On the other hand, if he moved to that side of the window, he's going slower and I'd probably be able to get across in front of him. But at the moment, that angle doesn't seem to be changing very much, and I'd say we are on a collision course.
The other way to monitor ships is via AIS.
You can see he's altered course and he's going to get across in front of us pretty easily. If I look out in front, he's in another window now, so we'll be out the way. So I think he's going to slip across in front of us without me having to alter course at all. But we'll keep monitoring all these big ships. You want to have a good look out. Always keep a look out on both sides of the boat because they're coming in and out of the port of Brisbane here. So they're coming in from out near Moreton Island into the port, and they're coming out of the Brisbane River heading out towards Moreton Island when they're leaving. Wind looks like it's dying a bit and not doing much for our sail, but giving us a little bit. A bit more wind would be nicer, but it's a lovely day to be just hopping across Moreton Bay. Nearly across the Brisbane River. I can see the ports there. It's a bit murky in Brisbane at the moment. I can't really see Brizzy at all, but I can see it in the murk there. But yeah, a lot nicer out here in Moreton, that's for sure. Well, Peel Island. Just about lunchtime, half an hour to go, so we made good time across here. The sail did a little bit actually in the end, bit of breeze. It's coming out of the northeast really, and what I'm going to do, I'm just heading over onto the western side of Peel, and we'll see if we can get out of the wind over on this western edge. A bit of shallow water here though, you've got to be careful of your navigation. There's quite a bit of reefy stuff around, so we'll go and have a look, see what it's like here. We probably could get round into Horseshoe Bay itself. Probably alright, but it might be alright here just for the night, and then I'll run the tide up again tomorrow. So I'm just going to get into about probably 4 metres of water here, and we'll think about putting the pick. The bottom looks good, nice and sandy, not too much reef or anything like that, so I think this will give us pretty good shelter out of the wind as well. There's not much wind on, you'd be right round the corner I reckon, but instead of going all the way around there, I can probably leave from here in the morning and head straight down past Macleay. Well, here we are, anchored on the west side of Peel Island. Not in Horseshoe Bay, that's the most popular spot out here, but yeah, it'll be a good spot for leaving in the morning and heading up to Jacob's Well. Good trip across, a little bit of motor sailing again, all fine, and yeah, just the last little leg to go before I get down to the well, and got plenty to do there, lots of little jobs I want to do on the boat before I head further south. Anyway, be nice here tonight, I think. We'll have a good night here. The rain didn't last long and we had a really pleasant night. This is how I keep the swallows off the boat. Shocking little birds, they make a hell of a mess. Well, this is the last leg of the trip from Great Keppel Island to the Gold Coast. It's about as far as we're going to get. I've got to navigate up. I've just been waiting for the tide a little bit. I've just got to navigate up between Macleay Island, up the back there, and past Carragara, and then down to Jacob's Well. So everything's good down there. I've got a berth organised, I've got the plane booked, so I'll go down and spend a little bit of time with the kids, and then we'll come back up and start heading south again, all the way down to Tassie, down to the cold weather, but I can't mention the weather. I've just got to suck it up, they tell me, put some clothes on. Anyway, it'll be different than this for sure, so something I'll just have to adapt to, I guess. But looking forward to the trip. Really am. I love Tasmania. It's the scenery down there is spectacular and very different to anything else in Australia, and the people are fantastic, so I do love it down there, but you just got to dress for it, they tell me, so we'll organise all that on the way down. Anyway, let's get this last leg of the trip down to here out of the way, and yeah, I'll be at Bruce's for lunch, I think. Fantastic. Well, I'm at Bruce's for another day. I'll head down to Horizon Shores tomorrow, where I'm going to leave the boat, fly out Monday, but just catching up with a few little jobs. I wanted to put a foil on the outboard, and we've done that. Wasn't a huge job, but there it is. So I'm going to go and test that in a minute and see whether it's a bit quicker getting up on the plane. That's the idea of it.